How's it going, everybody? It's me, Justin, aka Good Will Hunter, and I'm back with kind of just a really quick, what I believe to be relatively quick, video on the Tianli TL2000 educational VCD player that also was brought to you by Sega. As you can see, it's just a standard kind of, looks like a DVD VCD player. So it plays VCDs. VCDs were kind of like the predecessor to DVDs in a way, but really shitty video, kind of like, you know, MPEG quality. This thing originated from a company based in China and Taiwan, from what I can gather. And so what they did was, I think Sega of Japan, they wanted to get into that Chinese marketplace, but it's really hard if you're an outsider to get into kind of those kind of markets. So they decided that they would partner with this company, Tianli, Tianli, and they said, hey, we want to get into that market, so why don't you guys put a Genesis Mega Drive in the back, in your units, so you can play your VCDs and it can be an educational teaching tool, but then you can also play video games on it too. So once they get hooked on the video games, we can, you know, start, you know, importing Mega Drives, or, you know, I don't know if they would have stuck with the cartridges or if they would have just kept the VCDs, because this thing came bundled with some VCDs that contained the ROMs on discs, and they would load off of the disc and you'd be able to play. So when I saw it at the thrift store, all I saw was that it had Sega, and I thought it was maybe one of those like Laser Active, you know. The Laser Active has like cartridges that you can interchange to play TurboGrafx 16 games or PC Engine games, and Mega Drive Genesis games. So I didn't find out very much about it. There's not much information about this company or about some of the other partnerships that Sega had. I believe there's one retro Sega website out there that actually had a list from a gentleman that has a bunch of these kind of weird products. He's got like an Iowa, I think it's like a stereo, but it also plays Mega Drive games. You front load them. And it had this model listed, but again, I couldn't find any information. No one's selling any of this stuff on eBay. I couldn't find any information about the model. All I really knew was that I had something weird, and like that, I had to figure out if this thing works. So right off the bat, it does not. If you flip it around, I'll show you. It runs off at 220, so that was my first hurdle. I had to get a step-up converter, and you can see that wicked-ass sticker. Look at that, man. Ooh, it says Sega Mega Drive. It's pretty cool. Don't know what any of that stuff is, but again, 220, so I need to get a step-up converter. I guess I might, well, while we're back here. You can see it's got two controller inputs right here and there. This right here, I believe, is like an AV. Looks like a Genesis Mega Drive AV out. So again, I don't know if that's just a pass-through. I don't even know what that 5 volts DC is. I don't know what the hell that is. Then you have, for your VCD, you can have two separate, looks like, audio left and right, 2 channels. It's got a video, but then it also has video and then left and right audio for VCD and game. So I don't know why they have all this when all of that pretty much does it. And then S-Video, I don't know. Is it for VCD game? Just by itself. And this is the seal. It's never been opened, and I'm not going to open it. Awesome sticker. I'm going to send this to Bob, and if you're wondering, I paid $7 for it. I'm going to send this to Bob of RetroRGB.com. He's going to do a more in-depth analysis of this, what's going on inside, what do the VCDs contain, how are they structured, can you make your own VCD games, just burn them to a disc, you know, just, that was the toughest thing, was actually finding the VCD game discs. I had to do some more searching, high and low, and then I just typed in Tianli Sega VCD player game discs, and it was just on a Google image search. Happened to find a website based in China, kind of like AliExpress, where you can sell your items and they'll ship internationally. There was a vendor or a merchant on there that was selling Tianli VCD game discs, and you could buy them in bundles of 3 or 6 or 9. I believe there were only 9 ever made, and I believe they were packaged with the player, so I don't think they ever went past that with the Sega VCD game discs. I don't know if they were sold at retail, if you could just buy the game discs. Again, I can't find any images other than the one forum post, which did show that they had actual artwork on the discs. Unfortunately, what I bought from this guy in China, when he shipped it, it just came in blank. Well, not blank. They're just regular Chinese CDRs with a little label on it of the disc number, and that's it. There is no artwork on it, so they do work. That's great. I was able to test it. I was able to get the difference in voltage. I had to get a step-up converter because I don't have 220 in my house, and I don't have it the right plug at work, so I had to get a step-up converter to step up my my 110, 120 to 220, 240. So it did power on. I was able to test the VCD. It does play. So then I just had to get those game discs. Those took a month, and just it was a nightmare trying to relay messages back and forth. And then the guy said that what I bought was only 1, and that if I wanted all 9, I'd have to add more funds. Ultimately, it only cost $30, I believe, for all 9 discs, so that really wasn't that bad. It just took forever, like almost a month for them to arrive. But when I tested them, they fired up the first time, and then I just had to go through, and it was all in, I don't know, either Chinese or Cantonese or Taiwanese, whatever. I had to go through all the discs and figure out what game was what in the menu and on what disc. But yeah, they do work, so it's working, and I'll send it all to him. But again, let's just do a little overview. It's nothing special. It's got, a forward, reverse, snap back, like the cap. I believe this is left and right. It's a switch between left and right channels. If you want, I guess, 2 setups. I don't know. What is this? PVC? I don't know what that is, but you can switch to it. Your open and close, your play, return, stop. And then if you want to actually select your actual individual track, they have them all labeled up here, all the way up to 1 through 0. And then if it goes anything higher, it's this plus 10. When you play a VCD game disc, it'll say Sega, and I'll tell you what the track number is. Then it also has microphone support for 2. You can adjust the volumes. You can add echo, and then just the on-off. Very clicky in the model number. So I don't know if you could have used this maybe as a karaoke machine too, with a video CD that's got graphics on audio. I still have a couple somewhere, so I might actually try that. And I do have a microphone, so maybe I'll start singing for all of you. So again, just a very quick video. I don't know if you're into this type of stuff. I just was very intrigued with this whole thing, and I still am. There's literally no information out there for stuff like this, so I don't know how many were made. I don't know how it ended up in Georgia. I do know that we have a very very prominent presence the Asian community here, or at least around where I live. There's a lot of industry, a lot of tech jobs. So my guess is someone must have migrated, or maybe had a business, and they just had this and they decided to donate it, and I just happened to walk in that day and find it. So I like this type of stuff. So again, just a very generic, over the, not really, well, I guess it's an overview, but just kind of a, I don't know, an appetizer before the main course, which again, Bob from Retro RGB, he's going to be doing that, so stay tuned for that. Obviously, there'll be a link in the description once that one's available, but for right now, we'll just have this video, and we'll have a link to that when I guess he gets around to it. I'm sure he's eager to, because I know I was eager to see if this thing worked, and now that I know it does, it's kind of needs to be documented, because a lot of this stuff is just going away and no one knows anything about it, and you know, you never know. You never know what you're going to find at your local Goodwill. So this is Goodwill Hunter saying, I don't know, what the hell am I saying? I say a lot of stuff. I think I'm going to have a drink. Oh man. So if you like this video, again, the thumbs up. Check me out. I'm on the YouTubes. I'm always out thrifting almost every other day. Or at least every day. I'm posting a lot. So if you're into that type of stuff, go ahead and click the subscribe button. If you're not, you know, I don't blame you if you bounce off this channel. If you already have bounced off this channel, I don't know how long, how winded I sound at this point. But again, once I have the link to Bob's video, I'll put it in the description. We'll kind of title them 1 and 2, and we'll just go with that. So, see ya on the other side, guys. Does that even make sense? That doesn't. Oh well.